history is storytelling. It's the great story of humanity. You know, it explains why the world is the way it is today.
That said, our understanding of history is certainly open to change.
History is full of discoveries, but some don't make sense. From books no one can read, to civilizations that vanished, to structures no one recorded. These mysteries continue to puzzle scientists and historians today. Some were discovered by accident, some were buried for thousands of years, and others still have no explanation at all. These are disturbing historical mysteries that science still can't explain. First on the list is the Voynich Manuscript, one of the most disturbing and confusing historical mysteries ever discovered. Unlike lost cities or broken stones, this mystery comes in the form of a book that no one has been able to read for over 600 years. The manuscript dates back to around 1404 to 1438, confirmed through carbon dating of the parchment. It was later discovered in 1912 by rare book dealer Wilfrid Voynich, which is how the manuscript got its name. What made the discovery unusual wasn't just its age, it was the language. The entire book is written in a script that doesn't match any known language. The book contains around 240 pages, filled with strange illustrations.
Despite its huge reputation, this is actually a relatively small book. It's about 10 by 7 inches, that is 25 by 18 centimeters for you metric folks, and it is 234 pages long.
There are drawings of unknown plants, diagrams that look like astronomy charts, strange zodiac symbols, and even unusual images of bathing women connected by tubes and pools. Some researchers believe the book may have been about medicine, alchemy, or herbal remedies, but no one has confirmed this. This has led some historians to believe the book describes lost knowledge or forgotten science. Over the years, experts from around the world have tried to decode it. Cryptographers during World War I and World War II attempted to crack the text. Modern AI systems and computer scientists have also studied the manuscript. Yet after decades of research, no one has successfully translated it. Some scholars believe it's a complex code. Others think it may be a lost language. A few even argue it could be an elaborate hoax, though no one has been able to prove that either. Today, the manuscript is kept at Yale University's Beinecke Rare Book and Manuscript Library, where it remains one of history's greatest unsolved mysteries. Next on the list is the Antikythera Mechanism, the ancient computer that shouldn't exist. In 1901, divers exploring a shipwreck near the Greek island of Antikythera discovered something unusual among statues and coins, a corroded lump of bronze. At first, it didn't look important, but when researchers examined it more closely, they realized it contained tiny mechanical gears. This discovery shocked historians. The device, now called the Antikythera Mechanism, dates back to around 100 BC. But what makes it disturbing is how advanced it was. Inside were over 30 bronze gears, arranged in a way that allowed the device to track astronomical movements, including the sun, moon, eclipses, and possibly even planets.
A large 223-tooth gear behind the lower rear dial. This is connected to an epicyclic set of 4 smaller gears, which de Sola Price had theorized calculated the phases of the moon.
In other words, it worked like an ancient computer. Before this discovery, historians believed technology like this didn't exist until over 1,000 years later. The level of engineering inside the Antikythera Mechanism was far ahead of its time, forcing experts to rethink what ancient civilizations were capable of. But the mystery deepens. No one knows who built it, where it was made, or why similar devices haven't been found. If the ancient Greeks built something this advanced, where are the others? Some researchers believe it may have been destroyed during wars or lost over time. Others think this device may represent knowledge that disappeared from history, a machine from 2,000 years ago. Technology ahead of its time, and a mystery that still hasn't been fully explained. Next on the list is the lost Roman 9th Legion. 5,000 soldiers who vanished around 2,000 years ago, one of Rome's most powerful military units, simply disappeared. The 9th Legion, also known as Legionem Hispana, was a force of about 5,000 Roman soldiers. They fought in major campaigns across Europe and were stationed in Roman Britain, helping the empire control the region. Then, sometime in the 2nd century AD, they vanished. Historical records show the 9th Legion was active in Britain around 108 AD. After that, the trail suddenly goes cold. There are no clear records of their movements, no confirmed battle reports, and no official explanation of what happened.
After 108, that's the point where they disappear. So we know that in 108 they're in York, they're repairing the gateway. We know very little about what happens to them afterwards.
This is what makes the mystery so disturbing. Some historians believe the Legion was wiped out in northern Britain, possibly during conflicts with local tribes. Others suggest they may have been transferred to the Middle East, where they were later destroyed in war. A few researchers even argue the Legion may have slowly dissolved, but there's no clear evidence to support this either. What deepens the mystery is that Roman armies usually kept detailed records. Losing track of an entire legion of thousands of trained soldiers was extremely unusual. No final battle site, no confirmed survivors, no clear explanation. Next on the list is the Roanoke Colony, the entire settlement that disappeared in 1587. Over 100 English settlers arrived on Roanoke Island, off the coast of present-day North Carolina. They were led by John White, who planned to establish one of England's first permanent settlements in the New World. At first, things seemed promising. The settlers built homes, explored the land, and even welcomed the first English child born in America, Virginia Dare. But then everything changed. Supplies began running low, and John White sailed back to England to gather help. Due to war between England and Spain, he was delayed for 3 years. When he finally returned in 1590, the settlement was completely abandoned. No bodies, no signs of violence, no explanation. The only clue left behind was a single word carved into a wooden post, Croatoan. This sparked one of history's most famous mysteries. Some historians believe the settlers joined a nearby Native American tribe. Others think they may have moved inland. A few suggest they may have faced famine or conflict. But despite years of research, no clear evidence has confirmed what really happened. Next on the list is the Baghdad Battery, ancient electricity that shouldn't exist. In 1938, archaeologists working near Baghdad, Iraq, discovered something unusual. A small clay jar that didn't look important at first, but inside the jar was a copper cylinder and an iron rod, separated by a bitumen seal. At first, it confused researchers, but when scientists later recreated the object and filled it with vinegar or acidic liquid, something surprising happened. It produced a small electric charge. The object became known as the Baghdad Battery, and it dates back to around 250 BC to 250 AD during the Parthian period. This raised a disturbing question. Did ancient civilizations discover electricity over 2,000 years ago? Some researchers believe the device may have been used for electroplating, a process that uses electricity to coat metal with thin layers of gold or silver. Others suggest it may have been used for medical purposes or even religious rituals.
These batteries hooked up to a sacred idol made of metal. When someone touched the idol, they would get slightly electrocuted. But since they didn't know about batteries, they assumed the electric shock was from the power of a god.
But there's a problem. No wires were found, no clear instructions, no other confirmed devices like it. Some scholars argue the object may have had a completely different purpose, possibly just a storage container. Others believe it's evidence that ancient knowledge may have been more advanced than we thought. Next on the list is the Indus Valley Script, the civilization no one can read. Over 4,000 years ago, one of the world's most advanced civilizations emerged along the Indus River. Cities like Harappa and Mohenjo-daro were carefully planned, with straight roads, drainage systems, brick houses, and public baths. Everything about this civilization suggested organization, intelligence, and structure. But there's one problem. No one can read their writing. Archaeologists have discovered thousands of seals and tablets covered in strange symbols. These markings appear consistent and repeated, suggesting a real system of communication. Yet unlike Egyptian hieroglyphs or Mesopotamian writing, there's no translation key, no bilingual text, and no long inscriptions to study. Most of the symbols appear in short sequences, sometimes just a few characters, making them incredibly difficult to decode. This leaves major questions unanswered. We don't know who ruled these cities. We don't know their beliefs, their stories, or even what they called themselves. Some researchers believe the script represents a lost language. Others think it may have been used for trade, religion, or administration, but without a clear translation, everything remains uncertain. Next on the list is the Shroud of Turin, one of the most debated and disturbing artifacts in history. The Shroud of Turin is a 14-foot-long linen cloth that appears to show the faint image of a man with wounds matching the crucifixion described in the Bible. The cloth has been kept for centuries in Turin, Italy, and many believe it could be the burial cloth of Jesus Christ. What makes this discovery powerful is the image itself. The figure on the cloth shows marks on the wrists and feet, a wound in the side, and what appears to be injuries consistent with Roman crucifixion. But what shocked researchers even more came in 1898, when photographer Secondopia took the first photograph of the cloth. When he developed the negative, the image suddenly appeared clearer and more detailed, almost like a photographic negative created centuries before photography existed. This discovery sparked global debate. Some scientists argue the cloth dates back to the Middle Ages, based on carbon dating tests done in 1988. Others believe the test may have sampled repaired sections of the cloth, making the results unreliable. Additional studies have also found pollen grains, blood traces, and fabric patterns that some researchers say point to an older origin. Despite decades of testing, no one has fully explained how the image formed. Next on the list is the Nazca Lines, massive drawings carved into the desert that remained hidden for centuries. In southern Peru, across the dry Nazca Desert, ancient people created enormous shapes in the ground. These drawings include animals, birds, geometric patterns, and long straight lines stretching for miles. Some figures are over 1,000 feet long, making them too large to fully see from the ground. What makes this discovery disturbing is that the Nazca people created these designs between 500 BC and 500 AD, long before airplanes or drones. Yet the drawings are best viewed from the sky. This raised a major question: how did they design something they couldn't fully see? The lines were discovered in the 1920s, when pilots flying over the desert noticed strange patterns below. Later research showed that the Nazca people created the lines by removing dark surface stones, revealing lighter soil underneath. The dry climate helped preserve them for thousands of years. But the mystery remains. Some researchers believe the lines were religious symbols, possibly connected to water rituals. Others think they may have served as astronomical markers aligned with the sun and stars. A few even suggest they were ceremonial walking paths used during ancient rituals. Despite decades of study, no single explanation has been accepted. Next on the list is the Phaistos Disc. The ancient code no one can read discovered in 1908 on the island of Crete. The Phaistos Disc is a small clay object covered in strange symbols arranged in a spiral pattern. Dating back to around 1700 BC, the disc contains 45 unique symbols stamped into the clay, making it one of the earliest examples of printed writing. What makes it disturbing is that no one has been able to decode it. Unlike other ancient scripts, there are no similar texts to compare. Some believe it's a religious message, others think it's a calendar or ritual text. But until it's decoded, its meaning remains completely unknown. Next on the list is the Longyou Caves, the underground rooms. No one recorded in 1992, villagers in Longyou, China, began draining a local pond. Instead of finding mud, they uncovered a massive underground cave carved into solid rock. Soon, 24 giant caves were discovered, each carefully carved with smooth walls and pillars. What makes this disturbing is that these caves are believed to be over 2,000 years old, yet no historical records mention them. The caves required enormous effort and planning, but no one knows who built them or why. Some believe they were storage chambers, others think ceremonial spaces, but their true purpose remains one of history's biggest underground mysteries. Next on the list is the Copper Scroll. The treasure that was never found among the Dead Sea Scrolls, one stood out. Unlike the others written on parchment, this one was made of copper. Discovered in 1952, the The Copper Scroll lists over 60 locations where treasure was supposedly hidden. The text describes gold, silver, and valuable artifacts buried across ancient Judea. What makes this mystery disturbing is that none of the treasures have ever been found. Some believe the scroll refers to treasures hidden before the destruction of Jerusalem in 70 AD. Others think it may be symbolic. But if the scroll is real, massive treasures may still be buried today. Next on the list is the Sanxingdui Civilization, the lost culture that appeared too advanced. In 1986, archaeologists in Sanxingdui, China, uncovered something unexpected: giant bronze masks with exaggerated features unlike anything seen in Chinese history. The artifacts dated back over 3,000 years, revealing a civilization that seemed highly advanced. Massive statues, gold objects, and detailed carvings suggested a powerful culture. But what made this discovery disturbing was that there were no written records describing them. The civilization seemed to appear suddenly and then disappear. Some believe natural disasters forced them to leave. Others think they merged into other cultures, but their origins and disappearance remain unsolved.